I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the headline straight. I think I got it. Here we go. Malcolm and Marie is a 2021 romance drama. If you can give it that focuses on a couple who continuously have debates and confrontations, not just to figure out who is the winner, but to see which one plays a good part in this traumatic and toxic relationship. I think I did a good job, right? Explaining it at least. A filmmaker on the brink of Hollywood glory and his girlfriend, whose story made his career, finds themselves pushed towards a reckoning as a dramatic night decides the fate of their relationship. Now, before watching this film, I have heard and seen mixture reviews, mixtures opinions, with so many people saying that they love the film, saying that they hate the film should not be made, the acting, the performance, everything was not worth it. It was worthless towards the direction of this film. What is this film supposed to be about? What is the premise of this film? What does this film represent? And as me watching it, I'm gonna let people know right now, Malcolm and Marie, the reason why this film has so much mixed reviews is because I'm gonna tell you right now, this is a movie that you should not be watching with couples. If y'all are in a relationship, well, it actually doesn't even matter if your relationship is great or unbalanced or toxic, or y'all at the brink of just trying to get things fixed as y'all going through on and off switches of breaking up to make up, breaking up to make up, breaking up to make up. This movie is going to get y'all a big collision course of not just of what Malcolm and Marie goes through, but a lot of necessary exposure. I've watched this by myself, thankfully, and I have to say I love it. I love this film a lot, and I like films that does not mind expressing a lot of things towards not just dating, but just expressing people's behaviors when it comes to how they are intentionally acting, how they're playing a victim, and most of all, being thrown under the bus because they are acting a certain way and they fear that just because they're acting a certain way and because that they are a female, it's okay. I love this film. I thought it was I thought everything that they progressed with this film was very well warranted, especially with Zendaya. I loved her performance. Her performance was not just believable, but relatable when it comes to females playing a victim, females that is going through a traumatic relationship and they sense that something is wrong with the husband or the boyfriend and they just don't want to say anything. And I could see why women don't like this film because a lot of women do this. Like a lot of women, even women that I've dated that has been in relationships with me, and there are some things that I do that not just jeopardize relationship, but can irritate the females. Like we're all not perfect, so there are things that we may do not just by dating, but just in a friend zone that people can be traumatically irritated to, and they may not don't want to say it because they don't want to hurt your feelings. But with Marie's character, there was something bothering her. There was something that was clearly on her mind that Malcolm kept pressuring her, telling her, "Look, what's the problem? What's the problem? Oh no, like nothing's nothing. It's nothing. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it." And I love that because women do that all the time. They think that just because they don't want to admit what's going on, that things is going to be good. But if there is a problem and it's jeopardizing our relationship, attack it as soon as possible so it would not expand. And I liked Malcolm's character as well because even though he kept pressuring her to tell her what's up, what is going on, he actually had a lot of flaws as well. Admittably, flaws, even flaws that even I relate to when it comes to being with somebody and being on the brink of your career and knowing which one is more important. You're putting your girlfriend to the side to make sure that everything with your career and with your job is more stabilized, but at the same time, your girlfriend is supporting you. Your girlfriend is making sure everything is good between your job, your career, but then she notices that he is being more distant, not just her mentally and physically, but at the same time, just putting all her emotions aside and trying to focus on his career. And I was like that. When I was at the brink of just trying to not just get my channel up, but when I was at the brink of getting my mangas published, getting my stories, my artwork, my comic books were published and stuff. When I was at the dating world, I dated at the wrong place at the wrong time. Even though I don't regret it, because it shapes you. It makes you more of a mature person when you come across your daily issues as being a human being. But my relationships didn't last that long because I was not just taking advantage of the females that was helping me get my stuff published, but I was not taking the time to know what they needed, taking the time to not seeing what is it that they want to do with their lives. And with Malcolm's character, his character, his character is like me, how I was back then. His character is me. So I seen his character and I seen how he progressed and stuff. And even though he talked down on Marie and telling her to stop playing the victim and stuff, there were times when she told him things that he needed to progress too. So even though they express so much issues that people go through in relationships and why relationships is falling apart, they still try to be with each other because they know their issues and they are slowly beginning to try to figure out how to get across these issues as the night goes on. This whole movie takes place in their house. And it's really no scene to scene, no, next scene scenario takes place 4 hours later and stuff. This whole movie takes place on their arguments and how they progress with these arguments and what can they learn from with these arguments, and how they slowly begin to develop in this film, because not only of what they are arguing about and what they are commenting about when it comes to admitting their situations, but it takes time for them to admit their wrongdoings. So let me get this straight. This is where the criticism come in. You got people who are like me, who love this film because it's relatable, and you got people who hate this film because it's relatable. I think the only problem with this film is the fact that it came out in the millennial age of the sensitivity of the media. And what I mean by that is so many films have to be very careful, especially the films in Hollywood. They have to watch out posting stuff like this. Hollywood has to be careful when it comes to the stuff that they put out there. And that's the reason why a lot of movies are not doing great these days, because they're not embracing their true potential. So I think the only bad thing about this film is that it came out too late. I feel like if it came out in the early 90s or maybe in the late 90s or somehow in the early 80s, 90s, early 2000s, I felt like it would have been embraced in a very good way. The best films are the films from back then. There's no denying it, guys. And it could have fit the mold, not just with the dialogue and cinematography, but also the music. The music was very good. When it comes to their black and white elements of the film, which I thought it was great, they added some oldies music as well. Not just oldies, but also millennium music too, and it matched perfectly. And I love Malcolm and Marie for that. And I feel like it could have. I felt like even though I love this film, I felt like it could have had more potential with the direction of it coming out in an earlier age. These films can learn from Malcolm and Marie. You have directors and producers that have these brilliant ideas. They see what people go through in everyday life, and then when you put them in a film or in a documentary, they have to blur a lot of things out, because what Hollywood does is they see the stuff that they're putting on there on script, and then they tell them, hey, look, we can't put that out there because the way how the media is, the way how the social network is and stuff, people are very sensitive when it comes to exposure. So I feel like, and it is not just a fact. It's not just it is a fact, but it's not just my opinion. There are a lot of directors and a lot of producers that you look it up. They are actually being pressurized of tweaking the films, tweaking what they're trying to do in the movie, because apparently what they're trying to do is too insulting to the audience. I feel like if you would have not just done this in an earlier time, but just Be your own director, be your own producer, have your own indie developers, and just put it out the way you want to. I think it could have been a better film. I'm gonna have to give Malcolm and Marie an A. I fucking love this film. And the reason why I gave it an A is, like I mentioned, this film has a lot of potential. And I think that the way how the film was going, they knew that there was more that they could have discussed on relationships, on tactics, on how to deal with certain things. Because by me being a mental therapist, I was looking at this film with a thick ass microscope. And I noticed, well, the movie ain't gonna be perfect. I don't want to be perfect, but I feel like with Marie's character and Malcolm's character, there was more to be exposed. And I don't want to spoil too much, but at the same time, the movie just ends. Right when they got to the brink into the main issue about each other's problems, Malcolm and Marie's problems, the movie just ends. There was really no learning curve between their issues. So I felt like this movie ended like that because they could not engage on the main problems that they both had. Well, that's all I have to say for today. It feels good to be back on my channel. I had a very good vacation. I wish I could have done it again. Now, just stay tuned for more of my reviews and upcoming videos coming your way. This is your TCT here, and you guys have a good day.